Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Toronto-based drummer, composer, and bandleader, the great Ernesto Cervini. He opened up about yet another inventive jazz venture that he's embarked upon. This one is the 2020 CD Tetrahedron. So Ernesto has been hailed by the Vancouver Sun as one of Canada's premier drummer, composers, and bandleaders, and I would agree. And whether it's with his quartet, his innovative Turboprop sextet, his co-led trios of Myriad 3 or Tunetown, he's always inventive. With this latest project, he has electric bassist Rich Brown and electric guitarist Nir Felder, and together they create a wonderful sound. So please get to know Ernesto, this project, and dig this interview, my friends.
Hey, it's always great to catch up. Thank you for reaching out. This album sounds like a very interesting venture, and it's a great album. I got it this weekend, actually. I don't get yours really in physical form, but I love listening to CDs in the car, so I popped it in and listened to it all weekend, and it's just got a very unique, it's a very nice, refreshing jazz sound. So go ahead and talk to me a little bit about the album, your vision, and kind of, what you're thinking about it.
Yeah, so the idea was to do something a little bit more, modern, but a little more funky, a little more edgy. I played a trio with Rich Brown and Luis Deniz for the first time about, 5 or 6 years ago. And immediately it was like, there was some real energy there, and Rich and I had a really good connection, and Luis is such a monster, and they play together in a bunch of different bands. So there was a good vibe there, and we just started kind of doing it, just playing trio a bunch around Toronto. For me, I really enjoy it because it to be honest, it really makes me nervous playing with those guys because it's not my comfort zone drumming wise. Like I usually, I'm a jazz drummer. I that's my thing, and this is a lot more like backbeat, just funk oriented. And so for me, I think it's really good because it kind of forces me out of my comfort zone and makes me play in different ways, and hopefully will open me up to different audiences as well. We decided it would be cool to bring in Nir Felder to join us on the album. I've known Nir, I guess it's been about 14 years or something. I met him when I was living in New York, and we played together quite a bit there, and then I moved back to Toronto, and we kind of lost touch to a certain degree, but with the way the world is now, you never really lose touch with anyone. And so I reached out to him to see if he wanted to come record with us, and he did, and it was an instant fit. We went and recorded, and we're really excited about it.
What do you want the audience to get out of this album? I mean, they're going to see you live once they pick it up and they make the commitment. What do you want them to get out of it?
Well, I'm just hoping it's some good, energetic, fun music to listen to. Really, there's a little bit of everything in there. There's a couple more emotional, pretty ballads and stuff, but I just kind of wanted to make an album of fun music you can listen to get kind of pumped up, and I want to inspire people, and so hopefully listening to this, I mean the combination, I mean the three musicians on this album, Luis and Rich and Nir, are all real virtuosos on their instruments. In my opinion, it's a little bit of an all-star band, if I can say that, if I can be so bold as to say that. So hopefully people just get excited by this new stuff.
That's the thing that's been a hallmark of you, whether it's been with your own quartet, with Myriad 3, Tunetown. There's been all these flavors that go into who you are and kind of splicing off your creative end. How do you go about these things? Do you have these ideas, they pop in, you start bouncing it off other musicians? How do you kind of go full circle with all these different directions you go?
That's a good question. It does happen pretty organically. I don't really sit down and think, okay, now I'm going to do something that's this way, and now I'm going to do something that's that way. Like, Myriad 3 just happened because we played together, and I think that the most important thing, like, we played together and we noticed that there was something special, and I think that's the most important thing, is just always being, for me, I try and always be aware of what's happening and what situations I'm in, and when there's a spark. And whenever there's a spark, I don't let go of it. I'm very persistent. So, like Tunetown, that band played together for the first time like 15 years ago, or maybe even longer. And as soon as I played with those two guys, Kelly Jefferson and Artie Roth, I thought, there's something special happening here. This is a special connection, the three of us. And then, we played together once a year probably for the next 8 years, maybe not even once a year. And then, just in the past couple of years, we kind of decided to put it together. So it's kind of the same with all of these bands. It's just an idea, and then you just kind of run with it and see where it leads. And now suddenly I have too many bands, but but I really like them all.
Very cool. So if you come to play Tetrahedron, and you have to pitch this to a promoter in Kansas City, and then you have to pitch it to have like a little notice written up in like a local magazine or even online here, like tell people what you're going to give them in a live setting. How are you going to sell them and make them believe and feel like they want to come see you live play jazz?
That's a really tough question. I would say Tetrahedron is a band of 4 kind of virtuoso musicians working together as a unit and playing exciting modern jazz. We do some standards, some original music. It's funky and it's fun. It's energetic, and yeah, I think it's a blast to listen to.
I do too. I've really enjoyed it. Ernesto, it's always great to catch up. I'm looking forward to spinning this on the program. So thanks again for reaching out. Thanks for the music. And there's plenty that comes from Orange Grove, so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in Toronto, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Ernesto for all of the music, his time, and stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit Neon Jazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.